me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
They always tell me, the first step is to always see what the community wants. Sometimes you may not be able to give them that, but at least, see what they want and what's the interest first before you start making improvements and stuff and trying to make things better.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show Leadership Series. In this episode, we're joined by Curtis Coates, Director of Leisure Services for the city of Perry, Georgia, a leader who understands Parks and Rec from every angle, from youth sports and aquatics to capital projects, community engagement, and senior services. Curtis brings a people-first mindset rooted in service, experience, and mentorship. In this conversation, we dive into what it really takes to design parks with purpose, lead veteran teams, develop the next generation through internships, and keep Parks and Rec focused on what matters most, the community. This is real leadership, real impact, and real stories from the field. Let's dive in.
All right, we are live. This is Craig LeBlanc with the Daily Parks and Rec Show Leadership Series. This is our 12 noon show, Monday through Thursday. I have a special guest with me today, Curtis Coates. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Craig. How about yourself?
Good. And we have a couple of guests in the background. What are their names?
Well, the one that's keeping up the most fuss is named Croy.
Croy. And
then we have Kobe and Amir here too as well. So.
Oh, fantastic. Well, welcome all three of y'all to the show. We love our little guests.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get started, I wanted to play a couple of promos. One of the things we're going to play is our new YPN promotion. This is for our Young Professionals Network. This was created by our interns. So we have two college interns, Mike and Aiden, and they helped to create this as part of their internship program. So by the way, if you are a college intern or in college and you're interested in helping us create content for the Parks and Rec industry, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. If you're in the School of Journalism, Mass Comm, Marketing, that kind of stuff, it'd be a great experience for you. Also, if you're in Parks and Recreation and you'd like to do an intern, we're kind of offering up more. We have a few more intern slots open. So I'll go ahead and play this, and then we'll come right back and start our conversation with Curtis.
On the Daily Parks and Rec Show, we bring you the real stories of tomorrow's professionals, people shaping the future, one idea at a time. Meet the very first DPRS interns to officially host their own segment, Aidan Tierney and Michael Morrow. With curiosity, passion, and a fresh perspective, they're stepping into the spotlight to lead meaningful conversations with today's rising leaders. The Young Professionals Network takes you inside the journeys, challenges, and major wins of young individuals making their mark across industries. From first jobs to bold ventures, every story fuels growth, ambition, and innovation. Each episode brings real conversations, fresh perspectives, and impactful insights created to motivate the next generation of professionals. Whether you're just starting out, exploring new paths, or figuring out your next move. Tune in to the Young Professionals Network every Thursday at 5 p.m. only on the Daily Parks and Rec Show. Don't miss it, because your next big idea might be one story away. Are you a vendor, brand, or service provider ready to connect with the heartbeat of local communities? At DPRS Media Co., we tell the stories shaping parks and recreation across America. Through podcasts, live streams, videos, and newsletters, we reach frontline leaders, city directors, and decision makers every single week. From youth sports and facilities to programming and policy, our audience is your audience. Sponsoring or partnering with DPRS Media Co. puts your brand in front of the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. Launching a new product, growing your presence in public spaces, targeting cities, counties, or departments, DPRS is your trusted media partner. Whether you're in software, turf, aquatics, robotics, smart cities, or special events, partnering with DPRS puts your brand in the story. With commercials, interviews, social campaigns, newsletters, and live shows, we're your media team. Partner with us and grow your impact in the $200 billion Parks and Rec industry. DPRS Media Co. Stories that move Parks and Rec forward. Your audience is here. Let's meet them.
All right, we're back. So Curtis, are you gearing up for tomorrow? Y'all celebrate Thanksgiving?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big thing here in the Coates household. So
Fantastic. Now, why is that? Has it just been a standing tradition since you were a little kid and you just kept it going?
Yeah. It's usually a lot of family. A lot of family come down. This year is actually a little bit better. I mean, a lot of my family doesn't live too far from here now. They all are moving towards the Houston County and the Peach County area. So it's going to be even more bigger than last year.
Now, you're in Georgia, right? Are you originally from Georgia?
Yeah. Born and raised, Macon, Georgia, which is not too far from Atlanta. It's the city I, born and raised in, went to high school in, graduated high school from.
Yeah. And where's your family coming down from? Are they kind of in Georgia? Well, they're kind of scattered throughout the country.
Yeah, they kind of scattered some everywhere. Atlanta. I think some are coming from North Carolina, so it's a little.
Yeah, it's a great time of year. I'm starting to see all the little Christmas trees. Thanksgiving is when we usually go get a Christmas tree. The next day, and we start decorating it. But I think at Halloween, I started seeing Christmas decorations at Home Depot.
Yeah. Well, and absolutely. It always comes out a couple of months more early, doesn't it?
Yeah. All right. So tell everybody what you do in Parks and Recreation right now.
So I'm the director of leisure services for the city of Perry. I kind of help design parks. I do design parks. Also responsible for capital improvement projects, day-to-day operations, athletics, aquatics. We do have a splash pad here as well. And I have the background in AFO for it. And then also creating nice, fun programs for the kids too, as well.
Yeah. A friend of mine out in Kentucky, shout out to Cameron. He's been one of my earliest guests. I think he was like in the first maybe 10 shows he came on. And he had I think it was his grandfather taught about Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
And one of the things he did was he gave everybody the big poster board that you would get like in kindergarten to color on. But he gave it to his college kids and he said, design your own park. Yeah. What would it look like? You've been given a piece of land by the city. And so maybe talk about what that means. Because a lot of times we think design a park, we hire somebody to do it and we walk away. It's just turnkey. But many times you have to bring in all the resources, all the talent, all the contractors, and even find the money for it all. Maybe let's go through the process of what it means to design a park on, like, what's the highest level? If you have a piece of construction paper, what would you kind of start thinking about?
Well, the first thing that I would think about is getting community input. There's no worse feeling than creating something that costs millions of dollars and it's not what the community wanted. So
have you done that before on a playground or something that just like?
Never, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I always had a little bit of foresight to know. But a lot of that comes from my mentors too, in Parks and Recreation. They always tell me, the first step is to always see what the community wants. Sometimes you may not be able to give them that, but at least see what they want and what's the interest first before you start making improvements and stuff and trying to make things better than what they were. So,
I hear it's like pulling teeth to get the users of the park to even show up to give their input. You've always got those people that are they're the loud people, but they might be like 1% of the population, and you're building this for the whole population. So do you have any tricks to getting the quiet people to give their input?
Actually, I do. So, we actually hosted, public meetings. I pretty much did it through our coaches and parents. It was I want to say it was like my first week or maybe second week. When I first got the job for Perry, and we had a pretty decent turnout. And they basically, told me a lot of the needs and stuff like that. And I was very transparent with them and told them some of the needs, come later on down the line. But then also we sent out surveys for the quiet people that don't like to come out too as well. And they checked the emails, and believe it or not, they actually responded and gave a lot of feedback for it. So
Really?
yeah.
So what's a basic, give us like a rough, just generic template email that you would send when you're trying to get feedback from them. What does that look like? Do you have like a little checkbox, or these are some of the could do?
Yeah. So basically, the way how we do majority of our surveys, we ask about field quality. They get a chance to rank it from 1 to 5. We have comment boxes and suggestion boxes where we at least let them type out, how they feel, or any recommendations that they may give to it too as well. I mean, Perry, Houston County in general, but Perry's full of a lot of engineers, a lot of local business owner, a lot of people that do construction every single day, and their kids utilize our facilities and they utilize our services. So a lot of that feedback is actually helpful when it comes for me to plan our park, our master plan for parks. And I'm very thankful that they were always, very honest, and then also gave a lot of good pointers and feedback too as well. And I opened it, I embraced it.
Yeah. Now, maybe let's look at the range. So what's the biggest project you've ever had? We can kind of describe that a little. And then what's like the tiniest project that you've ever had that you've had to get feedback from your community?
I would say the smallest project is dugout covers. Dugout covers over our dugout, which was the smallest project that I've ever done. And then also the biggest project is the one that we're actually doing now, currently at the moment, that I've ever done. Was renovating our soccer fields, basically grading fresh sod, irrigation down, and landscaping to dress it up and make it look nice. Since I've been in Perry, that's the biggest project I've been a part of.
Yeah. And now there's a big I know everybody's thinking like turf, but I did speak to someone yesterday. Who was it? Jonathan? No, not Jonathan. Alex, shout out to Alex Miller over in Grimes, Iowa. He had a background in grass and facilities maintenance and stuff, and so he does have some big turf fields. But there seems to be a big push to go back towards the natural grass, being a little bit healthier and stuff like that. How do you decide whether you're going to put like a turf field or the natural grass and put the sod down?
For me, it was easy. It all boiled down to usage. Usage is how I look at it. If we're just playing for one season, whether it's the fall or the spring, and I use soccer as an example, we're on the fields basically 2 months for the fall, 2 months for the spring. Now, if it was something that was being used for like tournaments where people are coming in and it's generating sports tourism, then that would highly impact my decision making, because turf fields would be easier to maintain and paint and basically dragging, because now you have higher usage and you can get more longevity out of it by playing on turf. And then also too, depends on what age groups you have too, because a lot of the high schools here basically have turf fields, and their soccer program is played on turf fields. So
now I don't even know, what's the difference in cost roughly between like a turf field and a sod field, at least the construction side?
Let's say for the last figure that I looked at is about, at least I could say $600,000 to $950,000 in price difference. Yeah.
Okay. And then what is just a sod field? If you've got, you grade it, you got nothing but dirt, and you just don't want to put sod, that's how much is that?
That's pretty much maybe 200,000. It all depends on the acreage and what all you're putting down. But the last one that we was working on now is actually roughly around about at least about 380 roof roof
Right.
facade and dirt and moving and stuff. A lot of that is logistics too, but
Right. But then sod does need an irrigation,
yes.
or typically it has irrigation, so that's an additional cost that turf wouldn't have, correct?
Yeah, yeah, but that's not saying that it's a cost savings. Well, that's not saying it would. How can I say spike the price?
Mhm.
Most turf fields usually come with drainage system underneath it, and
Yeah.
that's a big driving factor in the price difference between natural and turf. So
It's drainage?
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And this soccer complex that you're redoing, was that just like an old legacy, field that you just had to kinda redo and do the whatever, the sidewalks or anything else around it, you're doing the whole thing or just the fields?
It's just actually the fields, roughly about almost close to 2.5 acres worth of playing space. But the park itself, where it's at, is Rosa Park, and it's very iconic for Perry. So,
Yeah. Alright, so give us a little, window into your city. How long has it been there? What is it like? Is it an older city or up and coming city?
yeah, well, actually, it was the first city founded in Houston County. It's been
Wow.
around, yeah, it's been around for a long time. Guys, the person that it's named after is Oliver Perry. Last year, we just actually celebrated his 200th birthday. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I've been there. It's crazy how, Parks and Rec directors are in charge of something, like you said, it's been around for hundreds of years,
Yeah.
and you're just here, you know, for maybe a decade or 2 decades
Yeah.
running something that's, 150, 200 years old.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The leisure services department, I want to say it started in 1990
Mhm,
or between 1990 and 1991.
mhm.
Because I actually still have someone that's on staff that was actually there from the beginning of it. So,
Yeah.
and it's, yeah, and I'm very thankful that he's there too, because he tells me like all of this, like so it's kind of like he's a walking history book, because every time I'm working on something, I say, well, that doesn't, I may be a little puzzled, and then he explains everything to me all the way from the beginning, and I'm like, oh, okay, got it. So yeah.
Now, how, what's the culture like of your city? Is it like, what are the different cultures that are in your area?
So it's pretty much a melting pot. A lot
Mhm.
of different culture, a lot of people from all over California, Texas. Um, we do the city is very open in their communication. Um, we do a lot of special events at the here at the city, and
Oh,
then
wow.
also we do a lot of community engagement events, where if you're new to the area, you can come in and learn about Perry and see what all your resources are in the community. It's actually a very vibrant city.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And so when they say leisure services, what are all the things that are kinda, you have different hats, you've got, like, special events, you have an aquatic center, you have soccer fields, kinda what are all the things that you're in charge of?
Pretty much, our splash pads. We have two parks. So we have football. We offer football, girls flag football. This was our first year doing that program, and it took off very tremendous.
Mm.
Also, we have basketball, soccer. If I haven't stated that one too, is yet. We have a community center that is always utilized. We have a full senior services center inside of there too as well. And then also we have meeting space where our Rotary Club utilizes it, community free play. Houston Healthcare comes by and they teach a lot of classes to the seniors: yoga, meditation, square dance, line dancing. It's a lot going on. Rosa Park actually has a disc golf course there too as well. So it's very active and very engaging for leisure activities.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so one of the videos that we made was why Parks and Rec is an essential service, and it's
Mhm.
been a really popular video because, Parks and Rec during COVID was considered non-essential, and so we're thinking about creating another video about senior services and what the senior services mean, to the seniors in your community. Can you maybe give us a little recommendation, insight as to how important senior services is to the seniors in your community?
Well, senior services is very important, especially in Perry. Um, they come by, they're able to get meals. They have programs there for energy assistance too, to kind of help them out, after they retire.
Mhm.
And then also, we keep them active and engaged with Houston Healthcare. They come by and teach all of the aerobics classes, yoga classes, meditation classes.
Mm.
They do regular checks. They do regular checks of blood pressure or in find them different resources and doctors. So it's very essential to have those type of services for senior citizens in the community.
Man, they do yoga and meditation classes. I'm a big, I actually moved to New Orleans recently, and one of the reasons that I chose is because it's like it's 2 doors down from the yoga studio that I go
Yeah.
to. Are those
Yeah.
well,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
are those well attended for your seniors?
Yeah, they actually are. Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of the guys told me they have this thing called chair yoga, for people that, don't have a lot of mobility. There's a way to do yoga like just sitting in your chair and stuff, and they're still able to kind of
Yeah.
participate.
Yeah, we have a version of that one too, as well. They offer it for all different types, but chair yoga is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into your background. Well, how long have you been over as a director there?
Next year in January will actually make 2 years for me.
Mhm.
Prior to that, I worked in Dublin, Lawrence County for years as a program director, where I overseen youth basketball, youth football, all special events there, as well as managed the water park that was there too as well. Because I kind of see where it's up there on episode 367. It does say Dublin, Lawrence County, but I'm in Perry, Georgia now.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to change that. I'll change it after. so, Curtis is from city of Perry, Georgia.
Yes.
Tell me about the water park that you had to manage.
Yeah. So like, man, that was that was actually one of the funnest moments of my career managing the water park. At times I can have as many as 87 staff on payroll.
Wow.
Yeah, it had a full-on concession stand, 43,000 visitors for, the 4 months that it was open during the summer months. So, and I'm a big people person. So like it was fun for me. A lot of birthday parties, a lot of good memories. So
Mm, fantastic.
yeah.
All right, so now you're a director, 2 years. How's it going so far? This is your first time as a director?
Yeah, it is actually. Yes. And it's going wonderful. It's going great. I got a good team up under me. A lot of, how can I say, veteran staff members. My athletic manager, she was actually a professor, a
Oh,
professor
wow.
out of college. Yeah, for recreation. And so she brings a wealth of knowledge there, and she actually makes it easier for me to focus and do the job. Also, even my leisure services program supervisor, she's been in Perry for um, over 20 years. So that's a lot of experience and wealth of knowledge there too. I have a very good veteran staff, so it kind of makes it very easy for me, and it's exciting to be a director too as well.
Now, when you were young, did you always aspire to be a director? It kind of fell in your lap over the years, or?
Yeah, I think, and it's funny because I talk about this quite a bit every now and again. I would have never thought in a million years that Parks and Recreation would have been a career field for me. Even though I've been in it, all my life growing up in Macon, we had a very good community center that was right there in my neighborhood. So I went to summer camp there, for all of my, childhood years. And so I was very familiar with the culture of Parks and Recreation. Also, at 14, my first job was working for Parks and Recreation. So back then, I think Macon had the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame and the Music Hall of Fame, both there. And I worked at both of those sites
Wow.
too as well. And then, at 17, I joined the military and stayed in for almost 10 years and got done. And it was kind of like, hey, it was a need that needed to be done at the time when I was living in Dublin. And, I went out there and talked to that director, and, he offered me a position. And I've been, in the career field ever since. So
It's now, I believe, for the military bases, isn't it called WMR? Is that what they call it?
MWR.
MWR. Okay,
Yeah,
so
MWR.
we're actually working with John Prue. He is one of the board members of NRPA, and he was big into that. He worked with the Navy and all the bases throughout the world. And I didn't realize that there's essentially in every military base there's a Parks and Rec department on base.
Yeah,
Is that something participated in when you were in the military?
Yeah, it was actually there. Matter of fact, during my time as a retention NCO, we worked heavily with them. On my deployment to Afghanistan, I would find myself working with the MWR to basically start, card game tournaments while we was over there in Afghanistan. Worked with the USO too as well. Just to keep the morale, the welfare, and the recreation of the soldiers up. While you're even on deployment. So it's very big. It's very big in the military.
Yeah. Well, we're looking to produce a weekly show. Our first show is going to be, I think, December 16th. And then it's going to be every Tuesday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Starting in January, we'll have a show dedicated to just the military bases, MWR. We're designing the logo and building the show guests list and stuff like that. So that's going to be one of our newest shows that we'll be launching next year.
Okay, it's going to be exciting. I know the soldiers they would love that. They even go as deep as having like in-house basketball leagues where they go around to different bases and stuff and play each other. Even though I'm sorry, this is Croy. Everybody, he wants me to come up here and say, "Hey, Croy,
how's it going?" Our youngest Parks and Rec guest so far. How old is he?
I know, right? Take that to Kobe for me. So I'm sorry, I lost it. I kind of lost the train of thought here with that one. So
how old is he?
He's 4 years old.
Oh, fantastic. That's a great age. That's a fun age. Yeah. All right. So let's go back all the way to your journey into Parks and Rec. Who were you as kind of like a grade schooler, high schooler? Were you in sports and then in college? Let's just go back into your early years.
Yeah. So my early years, I want to say I grew up playing sports. I wasn't the best athlete on the field, of course. But also, I actually grew very fond of, youth football. And then also I would spend a lot of time reading. I was a very avid reader growing up. So
yeah. What kind of stuff did you read?
Just basically, I was real big on Langston Hughes. So a lot of different poetry books, a lot of biographies too. As a matter of fact, I was, and I'm still like that to this day. I was reading about Ted Turner, yesterday. Yeah. And I was actually getting ready to purchase this audiobook, but I figured it'd be best to relax and just start back over the day and see about getting it. So, real big on biographies and learning.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he found CNN?
Yes. Yeah, he did actually. Yeah. And a lot of things he found it. So,
yeah. That's something I'm looking to do here. We're going to build the next great media network, but for Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
We'll be following in his footsteps. Hopefully we don't have to spend as much money as he had to launch CNN.
No.
Have you been to that CNN headquarters in downtown Atlanta?
Yeah. Actually, I've been there on multiple occasions, I guess. I take my sons up there to watch the Hawks games and stuff like that. I took some of their friends up there to watch the Hawks game too as well. So yeah,
that's a crazy building, huh? When you walk inside, they've got that huge atrium, and it's like almost like a mall downtown.
Yeah, with all the shops and with all the restaurants and stuff like that in it, it's very utilized building. He was a very smart person to even have the foresight to think about, creating different things inside of his actual building too that anyone can use. It's downtown, so.
Yeah, well, we don't have near as many people. We only got about 9 of us working full time on building this media network for Parks and Recreation. So thank God we don't have to spend the money he did. Otherwise, it might take a lot longer to get off the ground.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned that you weren't that good at sports, and I think a lot of people miss that Parks and Recreation may only be for elite athletes that are going to get college scholarships with all these travel ball teams, which a lot of times play on the sports field that y'all have. But really, Parks and Rec is for all levels of athleticism to get all kids, participating in sports. Can you speak a little bit about what that meant to you, being able to, play sports, even though you're not like some future college all-star?
Yeah. So absolutely. For me, growing up and playing sports, I was decent. I was pretty good. I wasn't the worst. That's for sure. But also too, it created more so social skills and learning how to work as a team too as well. And some of those same lessons that I learned from my coaches at the time, I still utilize those today as a man. So it was a great lessons, a lot of good lessons that were learned with youth sports. It actually helps build character in the person.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're kind of at the halfway point. We're going to play a couple of promos, and I'd like you to think about during the break, what are some of those valuable lessons that your coaches taught you when you were in youth sports? And I'm going to go ahead and play the Youth Sports Mastery promo, which is our Thursday show, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, with our host, Aaron Locks. He's the founder of the National Academy of Athletics. So every Thursday, we get some of the best athletic directors and coaches on that show. So if you're into youth sports, that's definitely a great show for you. And after that, I'm going to play a promo on the Facilities Maintenance Show, which is our morning show all about maintaining facilities in Parks and Rec. So we'll play those two and we'll come back and find out what are the valuable lessons that were given to you by your coaches. We'll be right back.
At DPRS Media Co., we don't just create content. We elevate community through storytelling. Now, we're proud to introduce the newest addition to the family. Welcome to Youth Sports Mastery, the podcast where champions are shaped, not just on the field, but in life. Hosted by National Academy of Athletics founder Aaron Locks. Youth Sports Mastery dives deep into how youth sports can empower kids, strengthen communities, and build leaders. From coaching culture to recreation strategy, and from player development to parent impact, every episode brings game-ready insight from the people making it happen. Youth Sports Mastery goes live every Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on the Daily Parks and Rec Show, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics and powered by DPRS Media Co. This is where purpose meets play.
Behind every thriving park, every safe playground, every event-ready field, there's a team working before sunrise and long after sunset. This is Facility Maintenance, the only show created for and by the unsung heroes of Parks and Recreation. Brought to you by DPRS Media Co., where real work gets real recognition. From restrooms to rec centers, HVAC to turf tech, we go beyond the job site into the heart of operations that keep our communities moving. Our mission? To elevate maintenance teams through stories, solutions, and shared experience. Our vision? A world where every facility crew is seen, valued, and fully supported. Each episode features operators, innovators, and leaders, sharing tools, tech, and tactics that make the impossible look easy. Facility maintenance isn't just a job. It's purpose, it's passion, and now it's a show. Facility Maintenance, where tools meet purpose, where work becomes legacy.
All right. So what are some of those valuable lessons that you learned as a young athlete?
Yeah. So one in particular, and I still use it to this day, is not necessarily being reactionary. Always sit back and let things develop first and then react. Try to gather more facts and stuff like that about it. It's almost like watching the play develop.
Mhm.
First before you get ready to, jump the gun, because that's how you get beat deep. Growing up playing the cornerback position, so sometimes you just got to sit back and just, take it all in and then, react. So
Yeah. Now, how do you use that today in as a director?
yeah, so as you know, working for the general public, people will, sometimes interpret things that they think is right. A lot of times, and when it comes to you, you have to sit back and ask certain questions, or sit back and review the whole series of events that took place up until a parent reaching out to you about something that occurred, the night before or something like that. And then basically, gather all your facts and give a call back and just basically explain to them, if they're right, they're right. If they're wrong, then they're wrong. And you try to explain it to them the best way you can. So,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about team building. You had mentioned that you have some, and this is always kind of a cheat code if you've got veterans that have been doing this forever.
yeah.
But maybe let's talk about how you get veterans on your team, and then how you kind of lift people up that are kind of new to the industry that are working with you.
Yeah, so basically, coming into Perry, they have a thing where where we have a thing, but it was started prior to me coming there. Where, like, if it's your birthday, it's a whole big deal. Like, everybody brings dishes in and stuff like that, and we sit down and we eat and we talk, and then everybody pitch in and buys you a gift. So that was real big about the culture of Perry, and so that was great. One of the things that I brought in as far as team building goes, once a quarter, we go out to we go out somewhere, whether it's the Rigby's up here, or whether we just go to dinner, or the next one that we were trying to plan now is axe throwing. So, we get a chance to get out and just actually bond with each other outside of work. And those are great team building moments. So that way we know, even no matter what we're faced with, we can be able to accomplish and tackle all goals that's set before us by the community, or either by council or administration. So team building is very important in Parks and Recreation, because the best teams in Park and Recreations operate just like the youth sports that we're, facilitating at nights.
Yeah. Now, how about the younger generation that you have working with you? Is there any opportunity for them to kind of advance or have continuing education?
Yeah, there are opportunities for advancement. We start, majority of everyone starts out at part time, and then so we kind of like mentoring. We try to get well-rounded people, so they may spend, maybe a week or two with our senior recreation technician and learning about ball fields and dragging ball fields. They may spend a week or two with me, a week or two with athletics, where they can kind of get familiar with how the paperwork and stuff like that goes, how to create a schedule, how to work the desk system that we use. Also, they get a chance to spend a week or two with our leisure services supervisor, and learn more so about building the program. What's the moving parts, what's the logistics behind that too as well. This summer we actually had an intern that was actually his bachelor's degree is going to be in Parks and Recreation, and I remember the first thing he told me, because he actually coaches at our local league too as well, and he's spending a day with me, and I show him the splash pad, and this particular day the splash pad is scheduled to open that Saturday, and here it is, a Wednesday, when I'm taking them over there to look at it, and nothing's working on it at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
you kind of broke out on me.
I said that's typical Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, it was. And the first thing he said to me when he looked at me, he said, "Well, is it going to open by Saturday?" I said, "If we do what we normally do, for sure it will open up by Saturday." And he said, "Well, I just thought you guys just basically facilitate youth sports all day long." And I was like, "No, it's a whole lot more than that." So
Yeah.
just educating them on what all goes into the show at nights. So
Mm.
yeah.
Now tell me about do you have like an internship program? You just get one every now and then, or how do you get interns involved in your department?
Yeah, so this summer was the first time that we actually had interns. Well, a intern that came down.
Wow.
But we are actually looking at getting more. I've been in contact with the Middle Georgia College here in Cochran, and they have programs in Parks and Recreation where they give out, where you can earn a degree, bachelor's degree in Parks and Recreation. So hopefully next summer we're able to get a couple more interns in and kind of train them up so they can kind of get the whole picture of just, it's not just youth sports, there's a whole lot of other stuff in Parks and Recreations. So
Yeah. So what lessons did you learn looking back now that you've gone through your first, and eight's a lot of interns to get on your first go round. That's the first time you've had interns. You had 8.
yeah, that's the first time.
Now how long did the internship last, and kind of what were some of the things that they were put in charge of and did?
Yeah, so the internship lasted for 8 weeks. And pretty much the 2 months of the summer, June through the end of July. They they actually got a chance to do a lot of stuff. Actually, one in particular helped us with developing rules. When we were updating our rule handbook for our parent meeting that we host every fall before the start of fall sports. And we actually updated our website, and he had a whole lot of input because, like I said, he was our intern, but then also he coached in the league too as well. And so he was able to tell us from a parent perspective. So that was very good to have him on board with us.
Fantastic. And is this something that you glad you did? You're trying to look to make that maybe more a thing that y'all do each year?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to be on the cutting edge of building up the next professionals in the career path. So.
Yeah. Well, and now are they still with you, or they've already left?
No, they've already left as an intern. But I actually just seen him yesterday. Him and his sons was over there practicing at the gymnasium. So he's coaching for us this upcoming season too, as well, basketball season.
And what's his name?
Nick House.
Nick House. Well, you have to help me get in touch with some of your interns. We'd love to have them on our Young Professionals Network.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show. That's every Thursday at we moved it from Friday at noon to Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern because that's a better time slot for college kids. It's usually after class. It's not on a Friday, which typically they're traveling. So yeah, we'd love to have them as a guest on the show to talk about their experience in your internship program.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry.
Now, how did y'all get your interns? University reached out to y'all, or did y'all kind of pursue this yourself?
He actually reached out to me. Well, Nick did. He actually reached out to me. Some of them wasn't necessarily interns. We do hiring at the splash pad, but then, some of them are either school teachers too, inspiring to be school teachers, or somewhere close in the career path. But we only had, I want to correct that because I don't know whether we broke out or not. It was only one intern that I had my first year. So now he spent 8 weeks with us. Nick was a great one. So hopefully next summer in 2026 we're able to grow to 8 interns. That would be a blessing for sure. So.
That would be awesome. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about education component, especially through GRPA.
Mm-hmm. So at conference, GRPA offers a lot of different classes for us. One in particular was that I was very fond of was the RFP class and how to build a parks master plan, also succession planning, and then Placer AI was a great class too as well. But then they offer other classes, which is a new one that's launching. Is the Georgia Recreation Parks Professional class certification that'll be offered this year. I actually spent a offsite class to go learn about golf course and different natural fields and different grass types. So GRPA does a wonderful job with offering different classes for parks and recreation professionals.
Now, how do they participate in that? Is that you do it online, or how does GRPA offer that?
So they offer it basically as an in-person. In our conference, of course, is in person. I'm not too much familiar with a lot of the online classes that GRPA offers, but then also we have our leadership classes too as well. So, but majority of them are in person.
Yeah. And so how often did you, or when did you start attending GRPA? Is that something you attend every year?
Yeah, so like my first couple of years working in Dublin Lawrence County, I never attended a conference. I want to say my first year attending was 2021, and that was in Jekyll. That was in Jekyll Island, and that was only because I had became a part of the leadership of Leadership One. So I actually ended up going to my first conference in 2021 with GRPA.
And how was this last conference? This that was at Jekyll Island. We attended that one.
Yeah, we did. The last conference was it was very good. I think we wanted. I want to say that GRPA had the highest attendance.
That was their biggest one. It was a phenomenal. It was my first time ever that I've attended the Georgia Parks and Rec conference at Jekyll Island, or for any of them, but it was at Jekyll Island. It was amazing. They did a great job.
Yeah, well, hopefully it would never be the last one that you attend. But it was. It was actually very amazing.
Yeah. Were you able to see the drone show?
No, actually, I missed it. I had dinner. I had dinner that night with a company that was actually doing some work for me currently. Now they just so happened to be there for the trade show and invited me to dinner that night.
Oh yeah, it was a great drone show. So let's talk about the special events that you run in the city.
So special events is actually ran by a different department, but we do assist with special events, and actually it's two. One is called the Perry Water Battle, and then the other special event that we do is called the Creekwood Splash and Bash for the summer months.
So describe both of those. What is the Perry Water Battle?
The Perry Water Battle is probably one of my most favorite events there. So that was in collaboration with the fire department. So they bring out the fire trucks, and when I tell you, it is a sight to see. Like it's like a whole lot of slip and slides out there, and the fire trucks is hosing down the kids and the people in the community. And it's probably by far it's one of the most unique events I've ever seen, but also one of the most coolest.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, how long has that one been running?
I want to say next year would make 9 years, so 8 years, I want to say. Yeah.
And how many people attend?
Ooh, if I had to guess, it has to be anywhere from 300 to 400. It has to be.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. Now, what's the other event that you had mentioned?
The Creekwood Splash and Bash. That one's hosted in July. It's actually at our splash pad in Perry. So it's a very well attended event.
Okay. And did your little guy there, did he attend?
Yeah, actually he does. He comes every year. And this year for the water battle, he wasn't able to. But for the Creekwood splashing bash, yes, he was there, front row.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so I want to play a little promo about why you should consider Parks and Recreation as a career path. And I'd like you to get you to, like, if you're in front of a group of undecided college kids, maybe you can give a testimony to the industry as to why you should consider working in Parks and Recreation. So I'll play this little promo for, and anybody can use this. It's on our YouTube channel, but our goal was that this would be played in front of your part-time workers, because I'm amazed that many people that work in Parks and Rec as part-timers never consider this as a career path, even though they're working in Parks and Recreation. So we made this promo so that you could play it in front of your part-time workers and then maybe give your personal testimony. So I'll play this real quick. Love to get your feedback on it, and then give a sales pitch to the industry as to why kids might want to dedicate their life to this.
Okay,
So
absolutely.
right back.
Every career is a choice, but few careers let you touch lives. Not once in a while, but every single day. Step into a park on a Saturday morning. You'll hear children laughing on the soccer field, families gathering for a picnic, seniors walking the trails, finding health and friendship. And behind every smile, every memory, is a Parks and Rec professional. We don't just mow fields, we grow confidence in young athletes. We don't just build playgrounds, we create safe spaces where childhood thrives. We don't just plan events, we design moments that anchor generations. Think of the coach who teaches patience, the director who champions equity, the staff member who sees potential in a child no one else believed in. Every day, Parks and Rec professionals shape character, preserve beauty, and strengthen community. And the path isn't easy. Budgets are tight, resources stretched thin, but the reward, unmatched. Because what you give comes back in legacy, in healthier communities, in lives forever changed. So why dedicate your life to Parks and Recreation? Because here, your work never ends. It lives on, in laughter echoing across playgrounds, in green spaces preserved for the next century, in the young professionals rising to lead tomorrow. This is not just a career, it's a calling, it's a legacy, it's Parks and Recreation. A message from the Parks and Rec community.
All right. So standing in front of a group of college kids don't know what they want to do with their life. What's your testimony to the industry?
My testimony to the industry would be pretty much growing up in it. Coming from the community that I come from, Parks and Recreation played a major part to shape me into the man that I am today. And, if you're getting into this career field, you have to realize that you're, more than yourself. You're actually a role model, and you're going to be someone that kids are going to look up to. So just do the best job you can, and remember, everybody's situation is not always the same. So I always try to operate with integrity, a heart of compassion, and just always do the best you can. You may not always get it right, but always just keep trying. So that would be my testimony to it.
Now, what's your why? Why did you dedicate your life to this, and why do you keep doing it?
My why is what actually prompted me to even get started in it. When I worked in Dublin, I started a summer camp that had not been going for 20 years. And so I revamped it. And the reason why I revamped it was I was reading the local newspaper. And it was actually, I was actually a part of the incidents that occurred. where teenagers went around and broke into 87 cars in one night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so like I was a part of it, and then and so I actually was reading the paper, and I seen that the kids were going to get ready to have a hearing down there, and their mom stood up and she talked about how she worked two jobs, and she couldn't always keep, be on top of things, coming, as a single parent working two jobs, trying to get, your sons, on the right path and provide for them. And, I remember going to our local councilman at the time when I was living in Dublin, and he was actually a person that I deployed to Afghanistan with too, a while back. And, I remember asking him, what is it for kids to do here in this community? And he was like, well, maybe you should start something. Yeah. And so I started a summer camp called Stubbs Park Summer Camp. And it actually ended up servicing 100 kids. It's first year. So that was my why, is trying to provide something to keep kids going down the wrong path. But, there's a lot of parents, that pretty much are in that situation. I grew up in that situation with a single mom, but I had a great support system, and everybody doesn't have that. I had uncles and, grandfathers and everything else that always helped out, grandmothers too as well. So, that's pretty much my why on why I do what I do, is to make sure that kids are still getting some type of positive role model in their lives, because you never know what their situation is.
Yeah. All right. So we have a tradition towards the end of the show where our previous guest left a question for you. So our question comes from Tyler Bybee over in Taylor, Texas, right next to Austin. Great little booming city. They've got one of the big Samsung fab plants that just spent $17 billion to build this massive fab plant in their city. So he's trying to scale his city to prepare for all these people moving in from South Korea and all over the world. Have you ever seen the show Parks and Rec by any chance?
No, unfortunately, I haven't. Well, hold on. I take that back. I've watched maybe one episode or half an episode, maybe. So
yeah. Okay. Well, this might be a tough one for you to answer, but I'll throw it out there. Essentially, it's a comedy about how Parks and Rec just has the most random stuff happening to us, and how they deal with it, and all the comic stuff that you just wouldn't believe happens in Parks and Recreation. And their pilot episode was basically, they had like this pit, and they had to figure out what to do with this pit. It was on public land, and they wanted to develop into a playground or whatever. And so that was the pilot episode. So his question was, what would be your pilot episode for a comedy about Parks and Recreation?
Oh man, where do I begin?
You could make several series.
yeah. Actually, I could write a book, but
Right.
yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of a good one. I guess a good one that happened. My pilot episode would be one particular time. There's a lightning detector, and there's a lightning detector at I won't even name at the place where I was working at the time. And there was a very important baseball tournament that was coming up. And and one of the coaches was out there and everything, and the lightning detector just so happened to go off. And I remember telling, I remember riding down there, because of course he still was out there on the field. And I remember telling him, like, hey, the lightning detector is off. You're still doing practice, and you're gonna have to, clear the ball field. And he said, he looked at me with a straight face, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it." And I said, Oh, so the parents just came, 10 parents just came and got the kids off the field for no apparent reason, I guess. He was like, well, touche, sorry for breaking the rules. And he just walked off. And I was like, oh man, I was like, sometimes it's just funny, it's just funny some of the stories people come up with sometimes, but nevertheless, that was probably one of my most funniest moments in Parks and Recreation. So that'd probably be my pilot episode.
All right. So, what question would you like to leave for my next guest?
I think you asked some good ones. I guess my question would be, what is your most challenging moment in Parks and Recreation? The most challenging moment that you've ever had in Parks and Recreation, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah. And so what would be your answer to that one?
I would say my most challenging moment. I would say my most challenging moment would probably be my first year as a director. It was a lot to take in, a lot to learn. And so how I overcame it, I wouldn't say, I always had not that great with public speaking. So one of the ways that I overcame that was actually, taking classes and learning more so about, public engagement and public speaking. And it actually, it's been working out well for me. So that was probably my most challenging moment.
Fantastic. Well, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing your story with us, and keep me posted on that internship program. I encourage you to continue to work with reaching out to and finding and forming the next leaders of Parks and Recreation. It's a really important job that we continue to do.
Yeah. So, actually I schedule another episode next summer, and, hopefully we get a couple of more. So
yeah, you can tell us how. Yeah, it does take some effort. If you reach out to, do you know Thomas White or anybody at Henry County, Georgia?
Yeah. Thomas is our District 6 commissioner, and I'm his secretary, actually. So
okay. Well, he has got one of the best internship programs probably in America. It's amazing what they do with their interns and how many they have every semester. And so many of their current employees were former interns. So it's how they staff their young people coming in, and those are the eventual leaders that are going to be running the ship, a decade from now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today, and have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow, and keep up the great work.
All right. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and all the viewers.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Thank you, Curtis. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was another great show with Curtis Coates over in Perry, Georgia. Sorry, I messed up on the title. That's where he formerly worked. But we do have a lot of great stuff coming up. Still in December, we got a lot of good stuff happening. As I said before, we are launching a show every Tuesday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll have our first pilot episode December 16th, and it's going to be all about the military Parks and Rec departments on every base. That's going to be every Tuesday starting in January, but we're going to do it one Tuesday in December to kind of launch that. Also launched our internship programs really well. I can't say enough about our two college interns, Michael and Aiden. They'll be doing our Young Professionals Network show on instead of Fridays at 12 noon, we've shifted it to Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, because that's kind of the time slot that works best for them. But appreciate everybody and all the love and support we've gotten this year, especially those at LRPA, at Mississippi Parks and Rec, Alabama Parks and Rec, Kentucky Parks and Rec, Georgia Parks and Rec, California Parks and Rec, Florida Parks and Rec, Traps. This is we've got many people reaching out to us, wanting us to come and attend their annual convention and air the Daily Parks and Rec show live. If you are a state that would like to have us, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, and we'll come and set everything up and basically interview directors, participants, the people that run the shows, or run the conventions rather. We'd love to come to your annual convention and highlight what's going on and what it's like to even attend your annual convention. We're only going to be a bit about, I think I'm capping it at like 20 in the 2026 calendar year, and it's filling up fast. So if there's something that you're interested in, reach out to me as soon as possible. It's going to be a first come, first serve. But anyway, this is our last show before Thanksgiving tomorrow. I believe I'm just going to come on and say hello to everybody tomorrow. Wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. And I need to talk with Aaron and see if he's going to do the Youth Sports Mastery Show. Knowing him, he probably is absolutely going to do it. But until then, happy Thanksgiving. Love you guys. We'll see y'all here again tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.
At DPRS Media Co., we believe Parks and Recreation isn't just a service, it's the heartbeat of our communities. We exist to honor the people, the vendors, and the leaders shaping the future of Parks and Rec. Our mission is simple: to tell their stories, highlight their careers, and celebrate their essential work. Our vision is bold: to be the trusted hub where leaders, vendors, and communities unite, inspiring innovation, sharing wisdom, and building a stronger, healthier nation. Through over 220 live shows and 6 weekly series, the Leadership Series, Facility Maintenance, Young Professionals Network, Youth Sports Mastery, The Rec Room, and Growing Leaders, plus our industry-leading newsletter, the weekly Parks and Rec Post, we're building a media platform made for the Parks and Rec community. And now, we're inviting strategic partners to co-create this story with us. As a partner, you'll gain 12 hours of annual live exposure with custom shows highlighting your expertise, polished 60-second promos refined for maximum impact, year-round visibility with dozens of replays across our media network, premium features in our newsletter, and amplified social media reach across LinkedIn, X, and Facebook. This is your chance to educate, inspire, and lead while connecting directly with the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. This is DPRS Media Co. Let's build the future of Parks and Rec together.
Welcome to DPRS Media Co., the first media company built for the people behind the Parks and Rec community. We don't just cover on Parks and Rec, we elevate it, we amplify it, we honor it. At the heart of everything we do is one mission: to serve the public servants, the professionals who design, maintain, and lead the parks that shape our communities. Under the daily Parks and Rec show, we produce 6 powerful platforms. Leadership in Parks and Rec, a spotlight on directors, superintendents, and visionaries shaping the future of public spaces. Facility Maintenance, where the boots hit the ground, a deep dive into the systems, crews, and craftsmanship that keep our parks clean, safe, and beautiful. Young Professionals Network, shining a light on the next generation of Parks and Rec. Students, interns, and mentors sharing how we build a legacy together. Youth Sports Mastery, sponsored by National Academy of Athletics. This series is for coaches, parents, and rec leaders working to make youth sports fun, fair, and meaningful again. The Rec Room, hosted by the passionate leaders of Henry County Parks and Rec. This show brings frontline energy and real-life stories from the field. And the weekly Parks and Rec Post, our official newsletter delivering stories, insights, and community wins every week. We are DPRS Media Co., LLC, a media company with a mission to uplift the professionals who serve every community, every park, every day.